What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bartley Broadcast YouTube channel. I am Jacob Bartley, of course, and this is Comic Hero Talk, where I talk about comic book, television, movies, actual comics, and anything in the superhero-related world. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing just well. Excited for the Oscars today. I say this every year, but it's different this year because the 49ers were actually in the Super Bowl. So this Super Bowl meant more to me than the Oscars do because I'm a 49ers fan. But I always say the Oscars are my Super Bowl. I get so excited for the Oscars. It's like I get that same excitement that a lot of people get for the Super Bowl when it comes Oscar time. Not that I don't love the Super Bowl. I do, even if the 49ers aren't in it. And hopefully the Oscars turn out better than the Super Bowl did for me this year. But I am here to talk about Harley Quinn, the animated television series, episode 11. It premiered this past Friday, and I watched it a couple days ago, and I'm here to talk about it. This will be a full spoiler discussion, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, just want to say I love this show so much, but I did not love this episode. I loved a few things about this episode, but I didn't love this episode overall. And one of the things that I did appreciate about it, probably the best thing in it, is the character development it did for Poison Ivy. And the reason why I love this show is because it does so much character development for Harley Quinn. And I felt like other than her relationship with Poison Ivy this time around, it didn't really do anything for Harley specifically. That being said, it was still a fun, entertaining episode. It just wasn't one that had a lot of depth and things that I've been enjoying from this season so far. Regarding Poison Ivy, they finally break her out, which is awesome. And that's one thing I do appreciate about this show, is that it takes its time with the storylines. It's not like most animated shows where something happens and they have to resolve it right away. Poison Ivy was captured like 2 or 3 episodes ago, and they just rescued her, which is great. And the whole breaking into the establishment thing that they were in, that was hilarious. The pretzel hot dogs or whatever it was, that was hilarious. Very funny episode, but not as good or in depth as I would like it to be. But the one thing, like I said, about Poison Ivy is they went into Poison Ivy's brain via Dr. Psycho, and they were looking for her worst fear because the Scarecrow induces your worst fear. And he found a way to find a way to do that to Poison Ivy using her own blood, which is actually kind of smart on his end. So they're in Ivy's brain, and they realize that her worst fear is getting close to people and trusting people. So she sees Harley Quinn in there in a hood and kind of being the source of where her fear is. And it makes a lot of sense because she's really felt betrayed by Harley recently when Harley needed her to do that heist and she was off with the Joker. And that episode where Ivy gets captured is probably the best episode of the whole entire series because, again, it gives that character depth to Harley Quinn. And I guess since Ivy is basically the second main character on this show, it's okay to use an episode to dive deeper into her personality and her frame of mind. So I thought that was good. Overall, though, it's just a fun, kooky episode. Outside of that, we got to see the Harley Quinn highway that she was so determined to get made, and it's just like a big roller coaster or like a video game or one of those race tracks when you're a kid and you push the car through and it goes on its own. It's like one of those, but Harley Quinn made it, so there's a lot of death traps and things like that. That was fun, but it's not why I'm here to watch the show, but it was still fun. And then also the Cy Borgman stuff. It's funny at times, but I felt like him transforming into a car and all the gruesomeness was a little bit much, kind of like her parents getting shot in the chest or getting their head blown off. So I'm not complaining about those things. I'm just, when I enjoy something, I want to make sure I don't praise it as if it's perfect because nothing's perfect, and especially movies and art and things like that, they're not always perfect. So I want to make sure I point out those things that didn't work for me. But overall, it was a decent episode. It just wasn't at the top of my list. I do appreciate that it does the same thing that it always keeps doing. It continues a story into the next episode rather than here's a problem, here's the solution in the same episode. So Scarecrow's plan of poisoning I don't know what he does. He poisons the water, and in turn it makes the plants turn into these monsters and they start killing people. I do love the gruesomeness of this show. I love that we get to see the plants actually killing and eating the humans. That's awesome. But I just really like the fact that it introduces that and they don't defeat the plant monsters all at once right away. So overall, I did like the episode. Didn't love it. Not at the top of my list, but I can't wait to finish out this season. According to the DC Universe app, there's 2 episodes left, so super excited about that. And yes, go Harley. Love this show. I also love Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn and that ridiculously long title. Go check out my non-spoiler thoughts on Bartley and Barnes on Birds of Prey. If you want to see me do a spoiler review on Birds of Prey, go to Apocalypse Movies and watch the latest episode of Apocalypse Now, and you can hear my thoughts on that. Again, I am Jacob Bartley. This is the Bartley Broadcast YouTube channel and Comic Hero Talk. Thank you for watching this episode. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of Harley Quinn episode 11. Thank you. Bartley out.